So a few videos ago, we took a look at the top 10 saltwater fish for a 75-gallon aquarium, and then Gary had a wonderful idea. He says, why don't we do a top 10 for a 125-gallon tank? And I'm going to one-up you because we're going to go 125. Another great idea that had came out of that video was from John Collins, and he writes, I have an idea for your list. Maybe you can include one or two fish or inverts that didn't make the cut. And that's what we're going to do right now. So the very first saltwater fish to not make the cut on one of our top 10s is the Skunk Tilefish. Now this guy is difficult care level, has a peaceful temperament, carnivore-based diet, is considered reef safe, grows upwards of 5 inches, and requires a minimum tank size of 50 gallons. Now the reason that this fish is not an ideal candidate for a 125-gallon aquarium is due to the fact that it is a difficult care level fish and it has a peaceful temperament, very peaceful, so peaceful in fact that a lot of the fish that you're going to have in a 125-gallon aquarium, this fish in most cases is not going to do very well in that environment and is going to spend the majority of its time hiding. And coming in at a price point of $89, that is a fish that is going to spend the majority of its time hiding in a tank that you could take that money and put it towards a fish that's going to do much better in that environment. And that's why this fish didn't make the cut. So coming in at the number 10 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish for a 125-gallon aquarium is the Harlequin Tusks. Now this fish is a moderate care level fish, semi-aggressive, has a carnivore-based diet, which makes it a reef safe with caution fish. They can grow upwards of 10 inches and require a minimum tank size of 125 gallons. Now there's a couple different varieties of this fish out there. There is the Indonesian as well as the Australian. The Australian version of this fish has a little bit more coloration, especially in the bars where you see those little slivers of blues. It's much more pronounced on the Australian Harlequin Tusk. This picture that you see right here, this is of the Indonesian style. Either way, an absolute beautiful fish, but it is reef safe with caution, so make sure that you're using plenty of caution if you're going to add one of these beauties to your reef tank. Coming in at the number 9 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish for a 125-gallon aquarium is the Squareback Anthias. These are absolute beautiful fish, and they are sexually dimorphic, so the female does look different than the male. And these are also fish that will change their sex as they mature. Typically, the more aggressive one will become the male, which is the exact opposite of what happens with clownfish. They are a harem-style fish, so it is a good idea to have one male and a couple females just to make sure that one female isn't getting all of the male's attention. Now this fish is moderate care level, semi-aggressive, has a carnivore-based diet, is considered reef safe, can grow upwards of almost 8 inches, and requires a minimum tank size of 100 gallons. Coming in at the number 8 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish is the yellow tang, more specifically a captive bred yellow tang. The biggest difference between wild-caught and captive-bred yellow tangs is you can get a much smaller captive-bred yellow tang because there is size regulations on wild-caught yellow tangs. And in my opinion, a captive-bred yellow tang, even though it is a little bit more expensive, is more prepared for aquarium life. Now this fish is considered easy to care for, has a semi-aggressive temperament, is a herbivore, reef safe, and can grow upwards of 8 inches and requires a minimum tank size of 100 gallons. And even though this fish only has one predominant color, it is one of the most beautiful saltwater fish in the hobby. And now that there are captive bred yellow tangs out there, I strongly recommend anybody who has a larger aquarium to get one of these guys. Support aquaculture and support the folks that are working towards captive bred saltwater fish. Coming in at the number 7 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish for a 125-gallon aquarium is the magnificent Mr. Foxface. This fish is moderate care level, has a peaceful temperament, herbivore-based diet, is reef safe with caution, can grow upwards of 9 inches, and requires a minimum tank size of 125 gallons. Now, one thing that is important to mention anytime that you're talking about a Foxface, rabbitfish is they are a venomous fish. So their spines do have a venom. So you need to make sure that you are handling this fish with extreme care, because if you get stuck with one of these spines, it's going to hurt. Now, even though that this guy is considered semi-aggressive, they are a great fish to be putting into a tank that's going to do a lot of work for you. It's going to be constantly nipping at the rock work and keeping the rock work looking clean. Great fish. Check it out, the Foxface rabbitfish. Coming in at number 6 on our top 10 saltwater fish for a 125-gallon aquarium is the glass eye squirrelfish. Now, this is a little bit of an oddity and not something you typically see in a saltwater aquarium, and that's why this guy comes in at number 6. It is a moderate care level fish that is peaceful, has a carnivore-based diet, and that's why it is a reef safe with caution style fish, because they do love themselves some shrimp. They can grow upwards of a foot and require a minimum tank size of 125 gallons. Now, when you are first introducing this fish into your tank, it is recommended that you use live feeder shrimp, and this is going to help get this guy on a prepared food diet. They're a little bit of a finicky eater, and that's why they are considered moderate care level. Either way you cut it, an absolute beautiful fish, definitely an oddity that could be added to a 125-gallon aquarium. Coming in at the number 5 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish is a copper band butterfly fish. Absolute beautiful saltwater fish. They are considered difficult to care for, have a peaceful temperament, carnivore-based diet, and their diet really is what makes them a difficult care level fish. They are reef safe with caution and can grow upwards of 8 inches. They require a minimum tank size of 125 gallons, and that's why this guy has landed on this list. Coming in at the number 4 spot on our top 10 is the gold flake angelfish. Now, this is by far the most expensive saltwater fish on this list, coming in at $549, and it's out of stock. Wow. Has a moderate care level, is considered semi-aggressive, is a omnivore, reef safe with caution, can grow upwards of 10 inches, and requires a minimum tank size of 125 gallons. Now, anytime that you're talking about angelfish, it's very important to mention that they are reef safe with caution, and I would probably go more on the line of fish only with live rock. A lot of times these guys are definitely the feeders of invertebrates and have been known to pick at corals as well. Either way you cut it, an absolute beautiful saltwater fish, but it comes with a very, very heavy price tag. So check it out, the gold flake angelfish. Coming in at the number 3 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish for a 125-gallon aquarium is the Leertail Anthias. Now, these are, in my opinion, some of the most beautiful saltwater fish that could have in a home aquarium. They are sexually dimorphic, like we talked about with the previous Anthias that were on this list. So you get a different coloration between the females and the males. And if you can't find any males for sale, even though that you want one, that there's nothing to fret about with that, because you can just buy females, and the most aggressive female will eventually turn into a male. It's crazy what saltwater fish can do. They are considered moderate care level, semi-aggressive, have a carnivore-based diet, are considered reef safe, and grow upwards of 5 inches, and require a minimum tank size of 125 gallons. One of my personal favorites, the Leertail Anthias. Coming in at the number 2 spot on our top 10 list is the purple Tang. Now, this isn't the first Tang that we've had on this list, and there seems to have been a lot of chatter as of late in the comment section down below about adding different Tangs to a tank, and I'm going to be working on a video that's going to help out folks with adding multiple Tangs to a tank. So if you want to be in the know when that video is uploaded, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. And keep your eye out for that video. It's going to be coming out here very, very soon. This guy is absolutely stunning, and if you've never seen one in person, I strongly recommend when you get the chance to definitely put some eyes on this guy for a while, because they are incredibly beautiful. Have a little bit higher of a price tag, and $229 isn't absolutely out of the question. They are considered moderate care level, semi-aggressive, have a herbivore-based diet, are considered reef safe, and could grow upwards of 10 inches and require a minimum tank size of 125 gallons. And coming in at the number 1 spot on our top 10 saltwater fish for a 125 gallon aquarium is the mystery wrasse. Now this guy is considered easy to care for, has a semi-aggressive temperament, carnivore-based diet, is considered reef safe, can grow upwards of 4.5 inches, and requires a minimum tank size of 90 gallons. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to learn more about selecting saltwater fish, check this video out.